What is going on, friends? Sean Don coming back with a technical analysis. Here we have John Dahlin back for his third technical analysis of the year, indoor season, outdoor season. Did a couple of weight throw analyses indoors for him, and now he's back for some hammer because it's outdoor season. So love to see it. If you yourself are interested in improving your hammer technique and performances, then go to my website, gripandrip.co. Sign up for an in-depth technical analysis. Sign up for some throws, programming, coaching, whatever it might be. I'm here to help, all right? Outdoor season is like halfway over for a lot of the collegiate people. So, yeah, now's the time to sign up if you want to make some changes. I know I say this every video, and it's true. Now is the best time to sign up, not a week from now or 2 weeks from now. Really, the best time to sign up would have been yesterday or 3 months ago, because it takes a while to make a lot of the changes that most people need to really start throwing far. So can't preach that enough. Sign up now. Not a marketing ploy. Literally just, I hate to see people sign up the week of their conference championships or their national championships or whatever it is, and they're like, hey, help me fix this. This season has not been going well. So if you're that person, get ahead of the game. All right. So gripandrip.co. Let's get into it. Let's take a look at John's throw. Took a few peeks at his throw when he sent it to me, and I'm a big fan of the orbit. Relatively stable. That left side looks like it's still leading a little bit. If we look at the rhythm, not a ton of acceleration through 3-4. Usually that's a sign of the left side leading and the ball not getting free. But stability in the orbit is pretty good. It looks like it's getting left for the most part each turn. So let's break it down, John. All right, so you're starting square-ish at the back of the circle. Looks like it's hard to tell exactly. Once again, hard to get a good video. I know you got to do what you can to get the videos it meets, but man, this net isn't the best. But it looks like you're starting square at the back of the ring. I think that's what you do for the most part. But you bring the hammer back, bring the hammer forwards. Ball goes through 0. You start to open up as the ball goes back behind you. I'd like to see as the ball goes through 0. Also, this first movement, when your hands are out away from the body, keep them out away from the body. As you can see, you kind of bring the hands from, like, let's say this point to kind of across through 0, kind of diagonally. Think about bringing them straight forwards. Be a little bit more patient in this first one. Bring the hands a little bit more forwards. Keep the hands out away from the body a little bit more. All right. That'll help tension and connection a little bit. So, but you bring the hands up, start opening up, connecting, 270, opening up the shoulders a little bit. As you go into the second wind, you can see you get a little bit more tension on the ball. This angle, once again, not the best. It's a little bit low, but we'll do what we can. As you can see, the hands are kind of out away from the body a little bit more here going into this second wind and entry. And now you start to see the hands out away from the body a little bit more. I see the hands come forward, and you see that the body's a little bit square to 0. Hips square to 0, cool. Shoulders, I like to see him facing a little bit more towards 270, a little bit more open. Maybe not 270, but 30 to 45 degrees before 0. When the shoulders kind of come square to 0, it's just not the best for tension and connection. There's usually a little bit of slack, like you lose a little bit of separation. Because then you start to see these hands come very left, kind of up over the head. You see this as you go into the next wind, into the entry. You can see you're kind of trying to keep that head, kind of peak that head to 0 as the left arm crosses your face. And to me, that says like the left side's a little bit ahead and leading everything, because as you see, as you start to enter the ball, you can see you set that left side up pretty well, but this right side is not really doing much. So you have a lot of tension and separation through this left side, but this right side is not very connected. This right elbow is down. Good stability in the left side, but you see this right elbow is down tight towards the body, which to me says that this right side is not going to be doing a ton of work. Most of this work is going to come from the left shoulder. And you see you kind of sink down, sit down a little bit, get in the legs, set up that left side tension. Stability, for the most part, it's a little unstable. There's a little bit of left side shifting back, pulling back as the ball goes through 0. And then it looks like your hands are almost tilted from your perspective. Let's see, if your thumbs were perfectly up and down, let's call that 12 o'clock. Looks like they're kind of tilted towards, you know, would it be 3 o'clock? You can see your left hand on top of your right hand. And once again, that's another sign that your left side's probably taking over and doing a little bit too much. If anything, I'd like to see your hands more perfectly up and down, or if anything, turn that right hand on top. I think that is a little cheat code to feel that right side working a little bit more. With this left hand on top, to me, that just says that left side is going to take over throughout the throw. But a little bit of instability. Like I said, left side pulls back, shifts back a little bit. And then as you go through 0, like I said, it's stable for the most part, a little instability. But you just see that left side leading. You see the head, especially like right as you go to start entering the ball, you see that head start to peak towards the direction of 45 degrees after 0, and that left side kind of leads. Your hips kind of sink down and back a little bit, especially as the ball goes left. You can see, like as the ball goes through 0, you sit down and back a little bit, and then your hips are kind of back a little bit as the ball goes out to your left. But the big thing that I see here is that that left side is leading. You are ahead of the ball. All right, it's a very common thing in the hammer throw. You're afraid to let the ball get free, let the ball get ahead of you, let the ball get square to the body. And because of that, I mean, like your right leg turns with it pretty well, but your hip's a little bit back. And it looks like you really kind of push the hands out towards 90, which is a good thing. But you want to do that a little bit earlier. You want to think about pushing the hands straight forward from 270 through 0. So by the time it gets to 90, they're already there. It just looks like you're missing a little bit of orbit when the ball's kind of from, let's say, 90, or from 270 to 0. So kind of like this quadrant right here. Looks like you're missing a little bit of width in the orbit. You're kind of bypassing that, trying to get the ball long at 90, when if you get the ball long at 270, the ball will be long at 0, and then if the ball's long at 0, it'll be long at 90. So it's this weird thing that a lot of people don't think about, I think. But yeah, left side leading a little bit, hips a little bit back, right side, not bad. A little bit behind, left leg straightens a little bit. You can see here, your right knee's blocking you, but you can see this left knee kind of push up and back. And then you kind of get pulled around the left a little bit. You can see your body get pulled from left camera view to right camera view. So you get pulled around this way, especially if you look at the hips. That's what happens kind of when you sit the hips back. You catch, nice and early. Sneaky single support movement, which is good. And I'll see what you do with that as you go through. Double support. Pretty good stability for the most part. A little bit of left side leading, shifting back, pulling back a little bit. You can see that left leg kind of creeping open early a little bit. You see that right side turning with it pretty well, but that left side still just leading a tiny bit. And then, once again, you kind of see that left leg pop up a little bit, straighten out. Hips start to get underneath you more here, which is good. You see that right side turning with it. If anything, you're just a little bit ahead of the ball as it goes from 0 to 90 towards the end of double support. Looks like you might lift up in the hands a little bit. Looks like there might be a little tension in the arms. But for the most part, right side's pretty connected. It's just this left leg still needs to get some drop forwards. Because you can see this left leg's pretty straight right about here. This left leg straightening out, pushing up, pushing the hip back, kind of limiting the ball from stretching and growing towards the sector. And then when you go to step, that right side, not bad. Shin straight up and down, could be a little bit more bent out over the toe a little bit. Once again, ball of the foot. I think I mentioned this in your last video. You catch. Once again, ball in the direction of the sector, pretty good. And then as we start to go through this double support, you start to see that left side leading and pulling back a little bit more. A little bit of instability there still. That right side's pretty decent, turning with it pretty well, but this left side's still kind of leading and pulling back and opening up ahead of the ball. But it looks like patience is pretty good, especially if you look at the head. Looks like your head's more with the ball now. Right side working really well, but that left side still just leads a little bit. You got to slow down your body just a little bit at the end of double support to let the ball get a little bit more ahead. And the big thing is, like I said, single support, that left knee, especially as you get to like this point right here. You take a sip of water. especially as we get into this single support. You can see that left leg really straightening out. All right, this is your biggest enemy from what I've seen across time in your throw. This left leg going into the third turn. If you could figure out how to get that left knee to drop, to have a little bit more softness in that left knee, in single support, to drop that left knee forwards, to walk that leg forwards, bend that left knee forwards towards 180, you'd have a lot better direction, because then you start to see this right side. It's kind of like steps across, and it kind of blocks your right leg from stepping forwards to the ball. And you see that left knee doesn't really bend until about there, so it's just bending a little bit late. You catch flat-footed. Hips are a little bit back because of that left leg straightening at the end of the previous double support, and in single support, catch, hips are a little bit back, chest is a little bit down. You're strong enough to kind of fight out of it. You can see the ball gets a little bit low on you here, and your posture just isn't great. So it's going to take a little bit for your hips to settle underneath. And like as you go through double support, left side stability pretty good, a little bit of leading, right side working well. It's just this left leg that really kills a lot of your momentum in the throw. Kind of straightens out, just left side tension in general, straightening out, opening up early. And then you can see you kind of like lift the hands a little bit here. Like I said, I think that's a byproduct of landing with a little bit of a bent forward posture. So like so the ball kind of drops and then it rises on you. It looks like you lift up here. It looks like this movement kind of comes strictly from the shoulders and the arms, you can see, I think. But it is a reaction of kind of what happens in the previous catch. But you see right side still turning with it pretty well, and then same thing, left leg kind of stiff, straight, pushing that hip away from the ball, pushing back from where the ball wants to go, which is towards the sector. And you see this right side. Your right side turns with it so well, I think, for the most part. It's just this left leg kills that momentum, and that left side stiffness kind of makes things hard for you. So, like I said, ball gets a little bit steep. You can see the hands kind of come up above the head. With this ball pulling up on you so much, it's kind of a chicken or the egg thing. Does the ball rise because the left leg straightens, or does the left leg straighten because the ball rises? You don't really know until you figure it out for yourself. So maybe trying to keep the orbit a little bit more flat, a little bit more around you instead of up around the left might help a little bit. And then also, like I said, that left knee. If you could fix that left knee, that'd be huge. I know it's going to be a hard habit to break, but that left knee is kind of the biggest issue that I see. And then you see when you go to catch, you do get a little wide here. And the feet, I think this is your latest catch of the throw. Yeah. It's like your body is, once again, kind of traveling down this right sector line. And once you get to this turn right about here towards the end of double support, you pull back on it and you try to course correct. You're like, oh shit, I'm going to throw out of the sector, consciously or subconsciously. So you kind of pull, land heavy on that right, and then kind of pull again through the finish to get the ball out into the sector. That's what I see. Wide right leg, kind of this negative shin angle. And then from here, you're going to see this left side start to really pull back. So that course correction, that left side pulling back, finishing out into the sector. You can see that left leg, left side leading, right side extending as best as it can, but you can see that right foot is kind of disconnected. It's kind of back behind everything because that left side's taken over so much as you course correct and try to get the ball out in the sector. Strong looking finish as usual. It looks like you have good tension in the body for the most part. It's just the wrong kind of tension. It's a little bit too much left side instead of being balanced left side and right side. So, yeah, same thing as last video to an extent. It's just that left leg in single support really kills your momentum forwards. Your right side's connected pretty well. Just got to figure out how to turn that left leg with the ball instead of ahead of it, and then also have a little bit more softness in that left knee. Drop it forwards towards 180. And I don't know how else to say it. It's one of those things where you kind of got to explore on your own and figure out what works for you. The words that I use are just the words that I understand the feeling by. You got to kind of explore and figure out what you can come up with on your own. So, pardon the technical interruptions. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions, John. You always know where to find me. So hopefully this helps, and best of luck with the rest of your season. All right. Thanks for watching. If anybody else out there wants technical analysis, go to my website, gripandrip.co. Alrighty. See ya.